Tonight I've got a friend coming over for dinner, so I thought it would talk you through the recipe that I'm going to cook, because it's quite a fairly straightforward, simple one that I've cooked many times when the girls have been over. It's an orzo pasta with burrata, and it's got courgettes in it, and it's super tasty. It looks quite impressive and it tastes really good, and it's really simple. So I'm going to talk you through the recipe. It's actually a recipe that I found on Instagram, and the ingredients are olive oil, 2 banana shallots finely chopped, 2 garlic cloves, some orzo pasta, hot vegetable stock, some parsley, some basil, some mint, some capers, which I couldn't find in Marks and Spencer's, but I might have some in the fridge, but if not, I think obviously we'll just leave those out. Juice of 1 lemon, 2 courgettes, which need to be chopped, and then some breadcrumbs and burrata to sprinkle on top. And it is so tasty. I think the burrata just adds that bit of extra something to it. It elevates a basic pasta dish. So I'm just chopping the shallots. Quite strong actually, my eyes are watering. I've been out this afternoon on a driving lesson with my daughter because she's just turned 17 and she's not started her lessons yet, so we've been taking her out. So it was the 3rd time she'd actually been behind the wheel today, and I needed a bit of a lie down afterwards. She did really well to say it was the 3rd time, but you just forget, don't you, what it's like, and it's quite stressful when you're coming up to junctions and things like that, and there's so much for her to learn as well, and so much for her to take in. I've got the wine chilling in the fridge. The playlist of the evening is, of course, the new Taylor Swift album, but I can't put that on while I'm filming because of copyrights, because it'll pick it up on this video, which is a bit annoying. But I'm going to put that on shortly because I'm loving the new album. It's not what I expected, but I really am enjoying it. And also I love the new Olivia Dean album. So they will probably be the 2 albums that I'll be playing tonight. I might even put a bit of a playlist together if I get time. Always crush the garlic before you peel it because it makes it so much easier to peel. So I've added some olive oil, and now I'm just going to add the shallots and a pinch of salt. I'm just going to cook these for about 4 to 5 minutes until they've gone translucent. Crush the garlic into there now. Then in goes the orzo. So it's a bit like a risotto really, but you're just replacing the risotto rice with orzo. Give that a good stir and coat it in the oil. I'm going to put a pan on for some stock. Now it says to use vegetable stock, but I'm actually going to use chicken stock because that's all I've got. And none of us are vegetarian, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest, and chicken will be super tasty. So I've got to add 1 and a bit litres, so that is half a litre. So I'm going to pour that into there. And then 0.25, there we go. Then very much like a risotto, what you've got to do is add the stock a ladleful at a time. So I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to add a few ladles full just to get it going. I'm going to make sure that stays warm. Smells so good. So while that's simmering away, I'm going to light these candles. These glass domes are always really popular on Instagram. They're from Nude Glass. I love them. Then I've got some olives and some nuts. Okay. Just grab a couple of cocktail sticks to go with those olives. Here we are. They're the pimento stuffed ones from Marks and Spencer's. So good. I'm also going to pop a couple of wine glasses in the freezer. Only for 5 minutes, but I've got some lovely Pinot Grigio which will work really well in nice chilled wine glasses. Right, in the courgettes go. So I'm just getting rid of some of the stems, and then all I'm going to do is just chop these finely. This goes in at the end. Juice of 1 lemon. And I've found some capers, which is good. Capers are one of my favourite things. This is like a salsa verde. It's going to be so delicious. Combination of mint. What else has it got? Mint, garlic, parsley, basil, lemon juice. That goes in. And then I'm going to give it all a good mix together. The Orzo is absorbing all the stock nicely. So I'm going to have a little taste, see if we're nearly there. That's super tasty. Still got a bit of a bite to it, so I think it probably needs another 5 minutes, but that's fine. So Nat's arriving any minute, so I'm going to get the glasses out. Oof, look at those. They look good. And this is the wine that I've bought. It's actually an organic Pinot Grigio. I buy it all the time from Marks and Spencer's. I think it's £8.50 a bottle, but it tastes so good. It's so crisp and dry. I love it. It's my favourite. So there we go. Cheers. Here's how the kitchen's looking. It's super cosy when the lights are on and the lights just drop in. I've got the candles lit, I've got the nibbles out, the wine's ready to go. Could set the table, but I think with it being the two of us, I think we'll probably just sit here because it's nice and informal and we're just going to have a lovely catch up because I've not caught up with her for ages. Mix all that in along with a tablespoon of butter. Put that in there as well. Give that a stir. When it's ready, you add half of the courgettes and you stir it in, and the other half you add on top with the burrata. So you put the big chunk of burrata on, and then that kind of melts into the orzo, and you sprinkle it with the rest of the courgettes. And you are meant to sprinkle it with breadcrumbs, but I thought I had some in the freezer and I don't, so we're not having breadcrumbs, but that's fine. I think it'll still be delicious without. So I'm going to tip half the courgettes in now. I think that's her. So I had a really lovely evening with Nat last night. It was so great to catch up. We were just chat all night. The food was really good. She really enjoyed it. She asked for the recipe, which is always a big compliment, isn't it? I didn't actually show you the pudding, but I just bought some little mini roulades from Marks and Spencer's. They were toffee, I think they were toffee and pecan. They used to just do one big one. They've started doing 4 little mini ones, which were perfect. So we had those with some cream, and we just had a really lovely catch up. It was really nice. And again, just a simple recipe, which I will link below for you, so that you've got all the details in case you fancy trying that yourself. Today, I am going to start off with painting these doors. I don't know if you saw my last YouTube video where I was talking you through all the changes that I want to make at home, and this is one of them. So I thought it's probably going to be quite a quick job. I've already got the paint left over and I just can't wait to see what they look like when they're colour washed in the rest of the room. So first up, I'm going to put some masking tape around this handle here. I'm going to mask that up, and then the hinges, and then the door handle, and I'm going to get started. They've got quite a rough feel to them, so I don't think I'm going to prime them. I'm going to see how the paint goes on without priming them, but also the little green paint that I'm using, it's silt, and it's the one that has got a primer built into it. So I think it'll be absolutely fine. So we'll see how we get on. I do need to get changed first though, because I am a very messy painter. A lot of the time I think, yeah, it's going to be fine. Some of these doors, you know, I'm not like doing ceilings or anything like that. And then before you know it, I've ruined some really nice clothes. So I'm quickly going to put some old painting clothes on. Can you believe that I actually have a full drawer of painting clothes now? So I've got these jeans, which are old ones, which have already got paint on them. And I'm just going to put an old t-shirt on. That's better. So first of all, I need to record some content for Instagram whilst I'm doing this. So I think I'm going to do it as a transition and turn it into a reel. I'll also get some before and after shots with my camera so that I can also make it into a carousel too. A lot of the time when doing things like this, I'm constantly thinking about how I can stretch it out to make more content. And carousels and reels are obviously great for Instagram, and then for TikTok as well, and YouTube shorts. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try and do a transition with the paintbrush so that it transitions from before to after. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So the paint has got super thick, so I'm just adding a little bit of water to it, because you can, with its water-based paint, you can water it down a touch. It's better to just add little by little and just get the right consistency. What I'm going to do is move the paint into shot, dip the tape brush in. I think that's too far out actually. Right, try again. So wait while it focuses on the doors. Bring it into shot, up. This is tricky. Maybe I just do that. Maybe I don't even need the brush in. Maybe I just go like that. And then I go whoop. And then the transition starts there. I'm just going to watch that back, make sure it covers the camera. Happy with that transition. So I'm going to do this side here and this, because when it's open, that's what you see. That's such a nice colour. This coat is going on really nicely. I'm already excited to see it. A lot of people are scared of just painting themselves. They feel as though they've got to pay somebody. But do you know what I've found over the years is that you can save so much money by just giving it a go yourself. And you can't really go wrong, to be honest. I actually find it quite therapeutic. Sometimes I'll just put a podcast on, I'll put some tunes on. So I thought I would talk you through some of my tips for painting. I've never been on a course, I've never had any kind of guidance really. I think I've just self-taught myself, and I think it's easy enough to do. The best thing you can do is just give it a go. This is a self-priming eggshell from Little Green, which is one of my favourite paints to use, to be honest. And actually you can use it on walls and on woodwork, and I think that's a bit of a misconception. People often think that you've got to buy two different paints, but in here in the bedroom I had a lot of woodwork, so all the ceiling is panelled and the wardrobes, doors are all wood, so I decided to just get eggshell to do the whole room, and I've just colour washed the whole room with it, the doors being the final part. So this is super handy because it saves the expense of buying an extra tin of paint. You can just buy one tin of paint, and if you're not paying for a decorator, actually works out fairly reasonable. I know Little Green is not one of the cheapest paints, but trust me, it goes on so nice, and it's wipeable. The coverage is great, as you can see on here. give the area a light sand and wipe them down. And then just get started really. Start off maybe in one corner. I just started in the middle here, to be honest, and just work your way out to the edges. And just apply a couple of thinner coats, because if you put too much paint on your brush, it'll just go clumpy. And then it starts to look a bit of a mess. So be patient and just have a few thinner coats and just kind of build it up. Doesn't matter if the first coat looks a little bit streaky. It's the second coat, we'll bring it all together. When it comes to paint brushes, then just find one that you like. You can get natural bristled brushes, say that when you're drunk, natural bristled brushes, or you can get synthetic ones. I think this is probably a synthetic one. Water-based eggshell just washes off with water and a bit of fairy liquid, so you don't have to worry about using any white spirit or anything like that to clean the brushes. You can just literally rinse them in warm soapy water. And a good tip when you're just having a rest or between coats is just to wrap the brush in a bit of film, cling film, because then it keeps the paint moist, and basically you can just pick it up and start using it again. You don't have to worry about washing them in between. But if you just leave it out, it'll go dry and crispy, and then you really struggle to get the paint off. So either wrap it in cling film or wash them straight away, because once they've gone crispy, that's when it's hard to get the paint off the brushes. It's definitely a good arm workout. Good for the bingo wings. What I am going to do is use my smaller brush just to get in these little grooves at the top here, because it's hard to get in with my bigger one. So it's good to have a small brush handy as well. Here we go. So that's the first coat done. I'm just going to do this side here, but I'm really happy with those. I think they look amazing. They look so much better. Better to remove the tape when it's wet, because then it doesn't pull the paint off. Whereas when the paint's dry, fully dry, if you imagine, it kind of then provides a seal. So when you go to pull it off, it can sometimes pull the paint off the door, which is not ideal. So always remove it when the paint's a little bit wet. I'm so happy with it. Oh, you see the shadows from the sunlight coming in. It looks so much better. Let me show you a full view of it. So there we are, all finished. I absolutely love it. The yellow tones in the oak just weren't doing it for me. They needed to go. This works so much better with the floor and with everything else in here. So I'm really, really happy with it. I'm going to put this artwork up next, but I haven't got time this afternoon because I need to go collect my daughter from work, because I'm taking her out in the car again because she's learning to drive. So I think I'll do that in the morning, but I think that'll look lovely just having a little gallery wall on there. So I'll be back tomorrow to show you how that's looking. Good morning. So the doors are all dry and looking fabulous. So pleased with them. I survived another session out in the car with Jersey, my daughter. It's only the second time that I've actually taken her out. And she's only had one proper driving lesson, but she's doing really well. So I've got some prints out on the bed, and as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to create a bit of a gallery wall just here on this wall using these prints that I've had for a while actually. Yeah, another one of those jobs that I never get around to, so let's get cracking with that now. I love a good gallery wall. It instantly makes the space feel more personal and lived in. So here are some of the prints that I've had for quite a while. Most of these were in the old house actually, and they've just been kind of waiting to be hung. This is a new one. I'll link it below. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prints there, plus this one up here. So I need to work out how I'm going to hang them. I never worry too much about it feeling perfect. I like it when it feels kind of collected over time, as though it's not all been done in one go. So I find that the easiest way is to lay them all out. So what I'm going to do is lay these prints out just down here on the floor and then work out the best way to hang them. So first up, I'm going to put this one here to one side because that's how it's mounted on the wall to start with, and I don't really want to change the position of that because I think it works quite well. And then above it, because of the natural shape of the wall with the eaves, I think it needs a smaller print, so I think that one above it will work quite well. And then I love the green in this and how it pulls out the green in the Vogue print. Maybe that one there. And then go for a black and white one below it, maybe there. You don't want it to look too perfect. And then, let's have a think, maybe that one there, and this one below it there. Yes, I do like that, unless I switch these two over and put her up there and put this one lower down so that it gives it a bit more shape. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to hang the Vogue print back up first because I've already got holes and nails for that one. Make sure that's straight. And then the GG print is the one. Just make sure this is in the frame properly. This one I was going to put above here, about there, which will just fit nicely. So, I could do with a stool to stand on. And we're going to go about there. So, about there. Right, let's have a look, see if that's straight enough. Right, this has got a little hook on the back of here, so I'm going to use a longer nail so that I can hook that on. So I need to get it central. So what I'm going to do is hang that on there and then just put a little mark on the wall where it needs to go. About there. You've just got to go for it. That's good, but it just needs knocking in a little bit more. Ooh. These walls are just plasterboard, so they're very easy to knock through. That's better. There we go, love that. And this one here. I think I will do it so it just gives it a bit of shape. See how it's got like the line that comes down there and then juts out a little bit there. So about there. Go. Perfect. That looks good. And then I think we said we were going to put the little one there, but actually maybe put that one there and that one there. What do you think? I think that's going to look good. The only other place I could do is, nope, that wouldn't go there. Yeah, so if we put that there, yeah, I I think put this one there and then the other one can go there. Perfect. And I'm just hanging the nail on there like that, and then I'm putting it where I want it and just making a little mark. Make a mark with the nail, and then there we go. Now I know that these cables run down because we had the loft converted. All the cables come from the ceiling upwards. So I know that there's no cables running up there, so I've not got to worry about those. But it's definitely worth checking that there aren't any cables before starting to hammer any nails in. Could do with some little ones here. Will that fit there, actually? That might fit there. What do we think? Do we like that there? Yes, I think that might work better there, actually, you know. See what I mean about trial and error? I love that, so happy with it. I might actually try and add a couple more, get a few more frames, because I've got this one, which is from the same collection as that. So we could maybe go with that one down here and just keep building it up a little bit around there, because I do like to have a floor to ceiling gallery wall. So yeah, it's definitely work in progress, but I'm really happy with it. It just brings a space to life, doesn't it? It adds so much character. As you can see, I've kept all the frames black, but don't worry if you've got different coloured frames. I do think it looks really nice when you mix them all up as well. I've restricted the colour palette a little bit, so you can see I've got lots of neutrals, but then I've got the pop of green and the pop of red, and that really works in this space. Don't worry about evenly spacing the prints. So you've got a small gap here, a bigger gap here. Don't worry about that, because that just adds to like the natural look of it. So I would just say don't be too precious, just go for it. Just get a collection of prints that you absolutely love and just style them how you want. And you can always just play around with them, because even though you're putting holes in the wall, you can just move them a little bit and hide them. I don't mind that. I'm not too precious. I think a bit of filler and you can fill them if you ever take it down, and you can just paint over it again. So I'm never too precious about it, but I know some people are worried about putting holes in the walls. But like I said earlier, one of the ways to get around that is by using templates, if that makes you feel better. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Once I've got a few more prints, I think it will just finish the bedroom off nicely. Good morning. Such a lovely morning. The sun's out. It's nice and bright, but it's freezing. It feels very autumnal this morning. I posted my reel last night about the door transformation and the gallery wall. Got so many lovely comments. So many of you saying it looks so much better. So that was a surprise, because I did think that a few people might say that they preferred it before. But no, everyone seemed to love it as it is. I always read through all the comments, you know. I don't always get a chance to reply, but I do try and reply most of the time. I read every single comment that comes through, and it's always so lovely to get your thoughts and opinions, and I always get so many lovely messages as well, so thank you for that. So I've got a busy day today. I've got lots of work to do, lots of admin to do. I had quite a hands-on practical kind of day yesterday, so I didn't really get a chance to come on, good boy. I didn't really get a chance to do my emails and things like that, so I'm going to sit down with a coffee when I get in and reply to some emails. And then there's a light in the kitchen, a wall light, which is hanging off when it's driving me insane. It's been like that for about a week now. I don't know if you noticed it in my last video. Come on, good boy, good boy. I don't know if you noticed it in my last video. So I've put a little bit of filler on, and now I need to sand it, and then I can paint it and I can put the light back up. I've got some plasterboard screws because it is just a stud wall, and the plasterboard screws work perfectly. So I'll show you those when I get back. So these are the houses that back onto the river, and they are beautiful. Good boy, here he comes. So the one that was for sale was that one up there. with the big glass extension. I think it was 7 bedrooms. It's just sold anyway. That was such a lovely fresh walk. I'm back home now and I'm going to make a start on the light that I was talking about. So there it is. So what happened was I was cleaning it, I was just dusting it, and it literally just dropped out of the wall, and I think it's because that's plasterboard behind there, so it's hard to grip into. So what I've already done is fill it, which I'll put some little clips on here so you can see what I did. So basically I just filled the original holes because I can't reattach the light using those holes because they were just too big and it was just getting too messy. So I filled the original holes, I've put 2 lots of filler on them, and now what I need to do is just sand them so that then I can move the light slightly along and make different holes. And you won't see the original holes. It's going to get messy, so I'm going to clear everything off this side first and then make a start sanding. I'm bringing Henry in as well because what I'm going to do is put him on to try and eliminate as much dust as possible. So I've got this sanding block here, but I've also got some sandpaper, which is a bit more coarse because I don't think that that will work at first. So I'm going to wrap the sandpaper around it like that. And that's the coarser sandpaper, and I'm going to rub that down. But first, I'm going to just get Henry and put him in place. There we go. So that is nice and smooth now, so I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on that. So here are the plasterboard screws. These are brilliant for any new kind of partition walls or anything that's not brick. But anyway, basically, if you've just got plasterboard with plaster over like these are, then these are brilliant because all you do is screw them in. You don't even need to drill. You screw them into the wall and they grip onto the plasterboard, and then basically you just put the screw into there. So I'm going to do that now. Right, that one's in. I'm only holding that on so I can make sure I get this in the right place. It's a nice big screw. See how easy they are to screw in? They don't really take any effort. Right, they both seem quite secure. So that's good. I'm going to give it a little hoover. Paint is slate lime made by Little Green. If any of you are wondering. Sometimes the worry is that because this paint's been on for a few years now, that this paint won't match up and you have to paint the whole wall. But fingers crossed, when that dries, it's going to be all right. This paint has dried up quite a bit, so I'm just watering my brush down a little bit and kind of dabbing it. So I'm just covering any areas that need touching up. There we go, so hopefully when that dries you won't notice any different, and I'll just screw the light back on. It's a good excuse to have a clean as well. So I'm going to clean this corner and then I'm going to pop the coffee machine back and make myself a coffee until that paint dries. Well, that has dried marvellously. So all I need to do now is put the screws back in, which should be the easiest part, to be honest. I'm just going to give it a little wipe, because that's how it fell down in the first place. Obviously far too heavy-handed, wasn't I? Right. Hold on. Wipe the top part as well. There we go. Both of those are in, so I just need to screw them in. Oh, my legs are killing. I need to stand up. Oh. Right, that's better. That was really hurting my knees. That's a bit better, yes. Whew, I think that's going to be fine. There we go, that's looking so much better, all nice and clean and tidy and fresh. Job done. I've been putting it off for so long, so I'm so happy that I've finally got round to doing it. I am now sat just chilling in front of the fire. So I thought I would sign this video off there and say thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, I'd love it if you could give it a thumbs up and also subscribe. But also there's a new feature on YouTube called Hype. I don't know if you can see that below. Basically, it's a new feature which helps new creators on YouTube like myself to grow by getting it shown to more people. So if you've got the hype button below, give me a hype. And thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday.